A very good day to all of you. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about plagiarism. And I'm very sure that most of you have at least heard about plagiarism or have learned about plagiarism back in school or in your pre-university courses. So what is plagiarism? In today's lecture, we are going to talk about what plagiarism is and also how to avoid plagiarism when we are writing an academic writing such as article, reports, essays, and other pieces of academic writing. So plagiarism in simple words is cut and paste or copy and paste. So that means you copy and paste from the original article or original sources from the internet or from a book in the library, and then you paste in your assignment, for example. You paste in your article, for example, and you submit your assignment with the cut and paste ideas or sentences or paragraph as your own idea. So that is cut and paste, and that is what we call as plagiarism or plagiarizing. So plagiarism is copying other people's work or borrowing other people's ideas, and you make them as your work or your ideas when you submit or when you publish your article or when you submit your assignment. So in real world, when we steal, it is called as stealing. In academic, it is called as plagiarizing. So plagiarizing is very serious. So when we talk about academic writing, when we are writing an essay, when we are writing an article for any assignments or tasks, or when we are writing a report, we'll have to be careful. We need to avoid plagiarism. That doesn't mean we cannot take opinions and ideas from the internet or from a book or from a newspaper. Yes, we can, but we have to use our own words to explain those ideas and opinions, or the sentences and paragraph that we took from other sources such as the internet or books or newspapers. So what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is, in simple words, cut and paste or copy and paste from other sources, and you put in your assignment without citing, without giving credit to the author of the source, the original source. So cut and paste is not allowed in writing, especially in academic writing. So in real life, we call it as thievery or theft, or stealing. In academic, we call it as plagiarizing. So plagiarizing is a serious offense, and you have to avoid plagiarizing when you are writing your assignment. So the question is, why do students commit plagiarism? Or think about yourself. Have you ever committed plagiarism? Have you ever plagiarized when you did your assignment? So the question is, why do some people or many people, they plagiarize when they do their assignment? And it is quite common to see cut and paste or plagiarizing being done when students submitted their assignments. So why? First, probably because they don't understand what plagiarism is. So they do not know that cut and paste is plagiarizing. So that is why they plagiarize. They cut and paste from the original source, from the internet. They put in their assignment and they submit those cut and paste sentences as part of their assignment. Other reasons would be perhaps some students, they are afraid of their own ideas. that might not be good enough. So they are afraid that they might their piece of assignment, their written piece of their assignment might not be good enough, so they cut and paste from the internet. And maybe they do things last minute, so they are short of time, so they cut and paste to make the task quicker. Maybe they think their language is not very good, so they cut and paste. Or maybe they do not understand the assignment or the task, so again they cut and paste. So those are some of the reasons why people cut and paste, why people commit plagiarism. So how can we avoid plagiarism? So there are a couple of ways that we can do to avoid plagiarism. So since plagiarism is cut and paste, what we can do is we avoid cutting and pasting from the original source into our assignment. So what can we do to avoid plagiarism? So the first thing that we can do is we can cite the sources. So what we can do is first we cite, or we call it as citation. Cite means we give credit to the original author of the original idea or the sentence of the source that you take from. For example, you take the sentence from the internet, so that means you have to cite the name of that person, the source. So you give credit to that person because that idea is belong to that person, to the author that you found in the internet. So first thing is you have to cite. And not just citing, you also have to paraphrase. So let us talk about citation. Cite means you give credit. So let's say the idea from the internet is written by this one person. So that means in your assignment you say according to this person, or if it is from an institution, according to the Ministry of Science, according to National Geographic, according to Williams. So that means you give credit to the person because that sentence, that idea is that you want to take and put in your assignment belongs to that particular people or to that particular institution. So that means you have to cite, to give credit, to avoid plagiarism. If you do not cite, that means you take it as your own idea, but it is not. So it is wrong. That is stealing. Stealing is wrong. So plagiarizing is also wrong. So let us take a look at one example of how to cite. Let's say you have this sentence. Let's say you want to take this sentence from the internet or from a book and put in your assignments. What can you do? So let's say this is the original sentence. Or original idea. So when you put in your assignment, what you need to do is you need to cite the author of the article. So in your assignment you say according to what is the name of the author. So let's say if the name of the author is Michael Jordan, so you take the surname or the family name. So you say according to Jordan, and what is the year the article was published? So perhaps 2018. So according to Jordan 2018, then you take the sentence. So when we cite, there is a format that we follow. So normally we follow APA format. If you can Google that, it is also in your Microsoft Word document in the computer if you go to document elements. So we follow APA format when we write the citation, when we are citing. So now we have APA format of 7th edition. So when you take ideas from the internet, this is what you have to do. You have to cite, put the name of the person. So other than person, it could also be an institution. For example, according to University Malaysia Kelantan 2018, the way female chimps played with sticks mimic caretaking behavior. So that means you need to have your citation. But having a citation, just the citation alone is not enough. It is best when you cite, you also paraphrase the sentence. So for example, if this is your sentence, so if that is your sentence, what you do is you try to paraphrase. Paraphrase means you use your own words. You don't just simply cut and paste as it, but you change the wordings. You change the sentence structure. So you use your own words. So that is better. That is the best way or to cite, to have a citation. So for example, according to Jordan 2018, so what you can paraphrase is perhaps you can say it can be observed that female chimps behavior in sticks playing imitate motherly behaviors. So if you compare this citation to the previous one, you could see that the meaning is still the same, but the way it is written is different. So that is when we paraphrase. So paraphrase, we use our own words, but we maintain the meaning of the original idea or the original sentence. So when you cite, it is best if you can paraphrase. When you paraphrase, it is up to you what you want to do with the sentence, as long as it is logical and it is grammatically correct. For example, the word mimic. I find a synonym for mimic and I put imitate. So when you paraphrase, you can find the synonyms of the words. The word behavior, for example, you can also find a synonym of behavior. For example, motherly habits. So that means you change the sentence, but you retain the meaning of the sentence. What else? The word stick, for example, perhaps you can use the word branches or tweets. So anything that is logical, as long as the meaning is still the same. So that means you use your own words. So other way of citing is, other than according, you could also say, for example, as mentioned, or as stated, by Jordan. So as mentioned or as stated by Jordan. Or you can also say, Jordan 2018 stated that female chimps behavior in branches playing imitate motherly habits. Or you can also use other words like Jordan mention, or stress that. So there are many words that can be used. You can also put the citation in the end of the sentence. For example, so it can be observed that female chimps' behavior in branches playing imitate motherly habits. So you can put Jordan 2018 and full stop. So that is the citation in the end of the sentence. So it can be in the beginning, can also be in the end of the sentence. If there are more than one person, so you say Jordan, and let's say we have David Beckham. So we say, we take the family name Beckham, and if it is in the end of the sentence, we put the symbol and Beckham. So that is one way to avoid plagiarism, which is by having citation or citing. You cite the author of the original article where you take the ideas from. And citation itself is not enough. It is always better if you can paraphrase the sentence. You can also go to the internet and find notes on how to paraphrase effectively. So there are a few ways on how we can paraphrase sentences so that we can avoid plagiarism effectively, but still the meaning of the sentence or the ideas is retained. So let us take a look at one example of paraphrasing. Let's say this is the sentence that you want to that you take from the original source in the internet and you want to use it in your assignment. Young male monkeys live in separate group. So how can you paraphrase this? There are a couple of ways by using synonyms. You can also use, you change the sentence structure, active and passive. So as long as the meaning is the same, it is grammatically correct and the meaning is still the same. So if this is the original sentence, what would be the paraphrase version? So in the monkeys, so in the monkey groups, the junior male monkeys do not live with their family. So the first sentence, the original sentence, is young male monkeys live in separate groups. So you do not want to cut and paste exactly like that. You want to paraphrase. So you say, in the monkey groups, the junior male monkeys do not live with their family. So basically, the sentence, the way the sentence is written is different, but the meaning is still the same. So if you have a citation, then you can add a citation. So as mentioned by Ali, for example, 2019, young male monkeys live in separate groups. Or you can put the citation in the end of the sentence. So that is when you paraphrase, but you'll have to remember that the meaning of the sentence will have to be written, although the wordings are changed. So those are the two ways that you can do to avoid plagiarism. First, you add a citation, and second, you paraphrase the idea or the sentence. So that is all about it. Thank you very much, and see you again in the next lecture.